to another episode of Haunt Talk. I'm Kim, this is Josh. Today we are going to be doing a review for Eastern State Penitentiary, Terror Behind the Walls.
Yes. Which is, of course, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yep. But first, we want to make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Make sure that you check out our Instagram, Facebook. All the links are down below. Also, don't forget to check out our haunt documentary, Haunt Behind the Scare.
Which is now free to watch on YouTube in its entirety.
Yeah. We also have a GoFundMe page going on to make a sequel to our documentary. Please check that out as well. The links are down below as well.
And that leads us into our review. So we've been wanting to go to Eastern State Penitentiary for quite a while now. Everything. We finally made it up there this year. And spoiler alert, it did not disappoint.
Not at all.
Not at all. The place, if you're not familiar with it, it's absolutely massive.
Huge.
The haunted house takes up just a small portion of what there is as well, because we actually went and did a day tour of it as well. But yeah, the place is absolutely massive. And the haunted house is pretty big as well. So there's a lot of it there.
If you're going to Eastern State Penitentiary for their haunted house, be forewarned. You cannot park near the prison.
Right.
It is all street parking or special event parking where you're going to spend a pretty penny. Mm-hmm. They actually have designated parking at the Philadelphia Zoo. They have a parking garage there. You do have to pay for it. It's $13 ahead of time.
Yeah, $13 you pay it on. It's weird. Like you get a thing and then you pay it online.
Yeah.
And then like there's a QR code you scan on your phone, or it's $20. It's $13 there or $20 at the or if you want to pay on site at the box office.
Yeah, if you go to the box office, it's $20.
But you can't pay at the parking garage. You have to pay either at the prison when you get there, or you have to pay. It's a really weird system. And there wasn't really anything, pretty much the only way we knew was the website is how we knew where to park.
Yeah.
There really wasn't any signs for it, but yeah, so be fair warned that if you do that, that's what you're going to have to do. And that leads us into our first category, which is design, and we gave this a 9.5. When you're in a structure like this, there's other prison haunts and stuff, you don't really have to do a whole lot, but you also have to do enough, so it's kind of a difficult balance, I guess I'd say, of not being too simplistic, but also being simplistic enough where you're still getting the creepy prison vibes,
Yes.
I mean, what's the point if you're going to make a haunted house in the prison where you don't see the prison at all and be in a prison still?
Exactly.
And this place did a very good job at mixing those two things.
When you get there and you get into the queue line and approach where the entrance for the first haunted house is, you do get the option to be touched.
Yes.
They give you a glow stick necklace if you do want to be touched. And believe me, you will be touched.
Yeah. And it's really cool because I will say other places, Mansfield Prison, for example, does this, but they charge you extra. This place is free of charge. So you don't have to pay extra for it, which is very nice.
Yeah. And it's more than just being randomly grabbed. You actually have extra things that might happen to you. We both got taken away from our group.
Yeah, they will take you from your group.
And had to do certain things. I had to climb into a ball crawl.
Yeah. I had a guy put me in a barber's chair and want to shave my head, and by the time I was let out, there's literally no one else there, so I had to do the entire walk alone, and it was terrifying because everyone was grabbing my ankles, grabbing my face, then they made me crawl through a tunnel. And I'm like, yeah.
It's intense.
It was pretty intense. But the other cool thing is, if you get it, and you're like, this is too much for me, literally all you do is you take it off, you throw it onto the ground.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they instruct you to do, so that's nice. It's nice as well because that way, if for people that are younger or don't like it as much, they don't have to be scared as much. And I really like to give you that option and don't make you pay for it. If you're watching this and you make people pay more to get touched, that's dumb. Yeah. You don't need to pay. It's pay us more for the full experience. No, I understand the option for people that are too scared if you want to do that, especially for a bigger haunt like this, but you don't need to charge extra.
No, not at all.
That's so greedy.
What we went to one last year where it was extra to pay to get touched. Yeah, Mansfield. And they ended up touching us anyway.
Yeah.
And we didn't pay the extra. So it was like, kind of like, well, I feel bad for the people that paid the extra money.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, you don't have to.
Which is
Bonus.
nice. Now this place does feature 6 attractions, and there are separate lines. The lines we went on a Friday night, Friday the 13th, and they did a really good job of getting us through the haunt quickly. We weren't in line for any more than 5 minutes for any of the lines.
No.
And we did have a quick pass, but the quick pass is only to get you through the first long line outside the prison. Once you get in, because you get rid of your quick pass, and then everyone's in the same line after that. Though.
Yeah.
Because it moves pretty quick.
Yeah, and they separate you pretty decent. We really didn't catch up very often at all in any of the haunts, which is good because we don't like, doing that.
Right. They send in big groups, but the thing about this place is the way it was structured and the way it was designed is that it didn't really matter so much because there are people everywhere and the way that was lit and everything. Mm-hmm. It was very easy for the actors to scare you and interact with you, even though like you're seeing the things happen to people in front of you, but then there's enough actors here where they could get you, and yeah, there's a lot of like long like hallways and like. As you said, it was dark, but it was dark where it was creepy, but there's enough lighting where you could
see all the detail. And believe me, they went to some lengths to get some detail. There were some scenes that had a lot going on, and it still was creepy enough that it was like, oh, this is scary. But then you're like, oh, this is kind of neat. Look at all this stuff, And I mean, looking at the detail and stuff, it kind of draws you away from what's actually going around. It kind of distracts you, and then it's a good way to get scared because people will, see that you're distracted and scare you.
And so as we said, there are 6 attractions. There is Lockdown, Machine Shop, Breakout, Blood Yard, Infirmary, and Quarantine 4D is the 6 attractions they advertise. You do have to go into them in order. You can't select.
Yeah.
What order you go in.
They're basically connected, so.
Right. I thought the theming was pretty well for each one. Lockdown is just basically, it's like you're in a prison now, which is cool because you enter through the prison yard and stuff like that. Because that's where you decide if you want to be touched, and the guy might ask you if you want some blood for your face. Blood for your face?
I got blood for my face.
Yeah, blood for your face.
He was very delicate.
Yeah, that one, it's pretty much what you expect. Like you said, the lighting in this entire place is really cool. Lots of blues and reds. It looked really cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
the lighting was really good.
The Machine Shop is, and I would say it was kind of, maybe, I think there was a little bit of steampunky thing going on there.
Yeah, it was industrial.
Yeah.
I know, a lot in older prisons they used to have where they would teach you a trade. Mm-hmm. That's basically what this was. It was about a lot of mechanics and wood shop and metalworking and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that was cool. What was Breakout? I don't remember.
Breakout is a prison escape. There were they simulated a tunnel, which was basically a claustrophobia tunnel.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, just prisoners running amok because they were trying to escape.
Mm-hmm. And then Blood Yard, that one was pretty cool. There was a cool scene. There was a voodoo priestess type lady. It looked like, and one of the interactive things there, she would take people that allowed touch and she put them in this cage that people had to walk around and stuff. So that was pretty neat. That one had quite a few. Cool scenes. Another thing that we really liked is a lot of places use drop panels, but this place there was just an open door, and when you walk through the open doorway, one of the doors had a drop panel in the door itself, and they dropped it, and that I didn't expect that to be there. I don't remember if that was in Blood Yard or not, but it was somewhere in prison. The infirmary is, of course, it's a hospital theme, and again, all the places stuck really close to the theme. That was really cool.
They actually handed us a bandage.
Yeah.
When we walked in there, because we had a group of 6 or 8 people, and they handed us a bandage and they told us to hold on to the bandage. And I was actually in the front, so I had to lead everybody while pulling this bandage into the infirmary. And eventually we were greeted by a actor who was really excited that we gave her a bandage.
Yeah, I really like the idea. I'm pretty sure what was going on there was like anyone that like actually held onto the bandage the whole way, she would like wrap it around herself, so she'd have like bandages added on herself throughout the night, which is a really cool idea. I don't know how many she ends up putting on, but I don't know. I like the idea of it. It was really cool. And then there's the 4D haunted house, which is basically if you've been to a haunted house, it uses like the 3D paint and gives you the glasses. It's that, but it was actually done really well, and they used the 3D paint to a really good effect. Like like if like there's a lot of people you couldn't see, dressed in the polka dot things, or
Dressed all in black.
yeah, there were some props and stuff, and that one has the ball pit, which you might be lucky enough to go into. And there's also a couple different split passing. People had to go across the bridge, so people had to go through this like, weird claustrophobia tunnel. It's like on the ceiling, you had to like crawl down through this tunnel and stuff with lights in it. That was pretty cool. But yeah, all in all, like I said, design was really good, and like I said, it was the perfect balance of just being creepy prison with good scenes. And they said they even had some actual structures built in there, like where like they had built their own walls and stuff like that. But I was really, because I've been to some places where they use the location. Sometimes it's just kind of false flag 'cause they don't like light it properly and stuff. But this place really just had it on point for pretty much everything. The only complaint we had, which is why it's 9.5 and 10, is there's a few spots they were a little bit dead. There wasn't much to see actors, and this was few and far between. There wasn't much of this, but there's a few spots where it's just kind of like there's like kind of untapped potential here and there. But for the most part, I mean, it was great. It was really great.
All right. So the next category we're going to do is actors. We gave them a 9.5.
Yeah. And I'll start by saying the only reason there are not 10 is there wasn't quite enough of them. There was a lot, but again, there's a few spots where it was dead, and like there's a few long hallways where not much happened. There weren't that many actors, but the actors that were there were really good, and their makeup. Oh my god, that was. It was great.
It was really good. Like we said, we mentioned before, the bandage lady who kept wrapping bandages around her. It looked to be like she was wearing like a black bodysuit, and throughout the night she just kept putting more and more bandages on her, which was a really cool concept because she was very excited. She's like, oh, "You brought me a bandage," She was just really excited about the bandage.
Oh yeah, but like all of them, like they were very aggressive. They they were running at you, and they were real. Oh, something else they were really good at is taking their props and getting it really close to your face.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them, like they'd swing things and they'd come like within an inch or so of your skin. And you're like, oh my god, So even though you'd see them, they'd be standing there just still, and all of a sudden they just thrust like a fake knife at you, and like it comes right here, so that gets you to jumping.
They would also take prop like knives and go across your neck, but they would do it gentle, but it was enough that it was like, oh my god, they're gonna cut my neck.
Yeah, there's one person in particular, she had like a glow in the dark knife, and she's looking at me and the lights shut off, and I just feel a knife run across my neck as soon as the lights go dark. I'm like, whoa, it was freaky. One of my best experiences, it was after I had mentioned it earlier, a guy took me aside and told me he was going to shave my head, and he put me in the chair and flew me back and stuff like this. It was this whole thing. He kept running his fingers through me. It was really creepy. Well, I was alone when we get to this final hallway. It's like all strobe lights, and there's like this girl, and she's dressed in a nightgown behind me, and I like keep looking, and every time I'd look over my shoulder, she would like know which way I was going to look, and she would dodge and like kind of be crawling on the floor, and I'd look this way and she'd do that, and then there's another one in front of me, and so this one comes up behind me, she starts grabbing my ankles and grabbing me, and this one's coming closer and closer, and they both start just attacking me. It was really freaky.
The chainsaw guys were very aggressive.
Yeah.
I mean, mind you, if you go to a haunted house and you're familiar with chainsaws, they obviously don't have blades on them. But it's the whole sound and the concept of the chainsaw that really scares people. And because this is a touching haunted house.
Yeah, if you opt for it to be.
Yeah, they come up behind you and just like dig the chainsaw into your legs.
Yeah, it was unsettling. Yeah, Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, all of the actors there were just really good, and even like they had some pretty good queue line actors and stuff there as well.
Yeah.
To entertain you, like in the people in ghillie suits, all their hiding spots are really good as well. A lot of them I didn't see coming. I mean, even there's people even I did see coming, but they were still able to get me just because of like how aggressive they were. They were able to like hide in a place where I couldn't see them. They jump out again and just scare me. I think they did a really good job on that.
So on that, our next category is scare factor, and we gave them a 10.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the scarier places we've been to, especially like in on an intense level. Like, there's so many actors, there's so many props, and really well placed props that actually got us a few times. And I mean, just the lighting and just everything was just really creepy. And
yeah, because remember, it's an old, presumably haunted prison with a haunted house in it, with a bunch of really good actors. And yeah, they had like great hiding spots, great distractions. They just really were good.
yeah, I mean, from the moment you pull up to this place, it's eerie. 'Cause, I mean, like, you know, the entire place, I mean, it looks like a castle. It's all surrounded by a huge wall, the entire prison is. And you pull up there, and especially if you've never been there before, which we had not been there in person, like, you just look at this thing, and you're like, Jesus, it's huge. Which, yeah, it's intimidating. It's intimidating to you as soon as you come up to it. As soon as you walk through the gates, I mean, like, there's things just going on constantly. You said even in the queue lines, like, there's not really a moment to let up. Like, you always feel like tension.
Yeah.
But it also managed to be, even though it was really scary, it always managed to be fun. It was never like completely like petrifying to the point where it's overwhelming. It was also always, as we just said, we kind of had a grin on our face through most of the place. Like, we were scared very effectively, but, you know, it was like a really, really good thing, and like happy, you know, it never got too much to the point where it was like torturing haunted house type stuff.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah. And then I guess that leads us to our next category of value. We gave this a 9. There is a lot of different pricing structure for this place, which we have a pamphlet here on. You can go on their website and look, but it ranges from anywhere from $19 online to $45 at the site, and then $25 at the door to $50 at the door. That's the range, and I mean, there's like 5 different price categories for both online and off-site. But also on really busy nights, the quick passes, they're fairly reasonable from what we looked at. They're not like outrageously expensive like some places. Like, some places are like double the price of your ticket just to add on to it. This place, I mean, you know, it's going to cost you a fair amount extra, but it wasn't like completely crazy.
No.
So, I mean, that is an option.
We went on a Friday night, and with our quick passes and our tickets, it was $60 per person. But that was a Friday night. They say that Sundays are the best days to go, and it is the cheapest. I want to say it was like $45, I think, with a quick pass, or maybe a little bit more than that. And then also take into account that you do have to pay for parking. Yeah,
which is at the minimum $13.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is pricey. It's definitely worth it, which is why it's a 9. But, like, especially if you're going on when it's 45 online, 50 at the door, you know, that's really high. So those are going to be also the busiest nights. You're probably going to buy a quick pass, and the quick passes are more expensive those nights. You know, I mean, it adds up. It's a pretty expensive haunt. And it was about, altogether, I'd say once we entered the haunt, I'd say 40 to 45 minutes to get through it all.
Yeah.
So it's not super long. You cover a lot of ground, but again, it's not super long. The haunts they're not real long, you know. They're about, some are 10 to 15 minutes, you know, about that. So it's good value. It's a little pricey. So, like, I would, if you can make it happen, I would go on like a Sunday or a weeknight when they're open.
Yeah.
All right, and then the last thing we have to go over is our overall score, which we gave a 9.5 to.
It was really good. There's just a little wiggle room for improvement.
Yeah.
Really just the points that we said before.
A little bit less dead space and a few more actors, and there really wouldn't be much to improve because the scenes are great. I maybe actually, like, if somehow it could be just a tiny bit longer. I mean, I think that would be kind of cool, especially for like the price. I mean, it doesn't need to be a little bit longer, but like a little bit more in like each haunt. But there is also a hex pass you can do, which I guess it's like a challenge for each haunted house. I don't know if it's kind of like an escape room from what I understand. We didn't do that, but that would add a little more. I mean, you have to pay for it, but that'll add to the length of your adventure as well. Mm-hmm. But, and there's so many unique things too, just like how I said that they'll take you and just do what they want with you, and like each place there's like a whole bunch of different like sections where like they'll take you and interact with you, which isn't something I've seen almost any other haunt do something like that. Just take you and put you down secret passageways, and all you have to do is just opt for it at the beginning. So that's really cool in its own. There's also, you can go to the Speakeasy, which is where Al Capone's cell is, and you actually can get drinks there and stuff. Again, extra cost, but just another thing that you can do there. But yeah, just make sure you adjust enough time for the night, because again, you have to find the parking and take the bus there and stuff and waiting in lines. You could be there for quite a while. But yeah, if you can make the trek out there, I highly recommend going to it, because I've never had an experience quite like that. And I've been to a couple other haunted prison ones, but this is by far, I think, my favorite that we've been to.
Yeah, definitely.
It was done very well. You can tell the people that run it are really into it as well. I've kind of talked to a couple of people that are a part of it, and you know, they seem like they're very, very passionate what they do, and they really love doing it. It's not just one of those ones where it's like, oh, we have this creepy building, let's get money for it. It's like, no, they have the creepy building and they're getting money for it, but they also really like doing it, and it just shows, and it's awesome. But I think that does it for this review. As she said at the beginning, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also like the video, please. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. There's links to the video for the GoFundMe at the end and underneath in the description. And make sure to watch our haunted house documentary that's free, and the music at the beginning of the video. And I've been playing a different song at the end of each video. It's done by a man named Jerry Vayne. He makes haunt rock music. You should check him out. Link to his website's down below. I'm considering buying one of his albums. He just had a new one come out a couple weeks ago. So make sure you check out that. But that's it for this review. Bye.